Hello there, welcome to Swalecliffe Free Church for another day of our Lent devotions. Today is day 36 of 40 of our Lent devotions. It's Tuesday, the 30th of March 2021. It is beautiful weather outside, really sunny, just in time to get into each other's gardens, which is something we're allowed to do now in groups of 6. And it's good, I think, in this week of Easter, Holy Week, that we have this beautiful sunshine, that we can have that time of fellowship together within. For my part, I will be knocking on various doors this week. I will be giving you a few surprises. Hopefully, many of you will receive those in the week. And we'll also have our Good Friday joint service put together, which we'll watch together hopefully on Friday morning on the Churches Together in Whitstable Facebook page. And we'll also have our Easter Sunday service streamed on this channel as well on Sunday. So it's good to be with you and to share another day of Lent devotions. Today we're going to be looking at a message of trouble, and we're going to be considering the persecuted church. So this is a reflection taken from Simon Julibard's book Choose Life, 365 readings for radical disciples, and it's been shortened for length, clarity, and also for current context. Over the last 70 years, the Chinese church has experienced both the extremes of persecution and explosive growth. A friend of mine was ministering in the underground church. He was with a group of seasoned followers, and by seasons, they meant they had spent at least 3 years in prison for their faith. He'd been speaking to an impressively fiery evangelist, when one of the leaders took him aside and said, "This young man shows great promise, but we don't know how much we can trust him because he hasn't been to prison yet." By that, he meant that only once people had endured prolonged mistreatment in prison could their faith be recognized as genuine. He went on, "In the West, you go to seminaries for 3 years to learn about God. Here in China, the prisons have been our 3-year seminaries." The persecution for Christians in China now seems less severe, although China's human rights abuses continue, with the Uyghur Muslims being a primary target, and as Christians we should be praying and moving in action against these abuses. We must also, as a church, both locally and as a wider church, recognise and be joining Krish Kandiah's Hong Kong Ready initiative to make sure we are prepared to welcome those from Hong Kong who no longer want to be under China's rule. On Christians having less persecution in China, though, one pastor portioned this. He said, "Please don't pray for an end of persecution of Christians in China. Persecution is not our foe, it is our friend. More persecution means more growth." Now, how can he say that? How did that situation evolve? Well, Tony Lambert, he writes this. He says, "The reason for the growth of the church in China and for the outbreak of genuine spiritual revival in many areas is inextricably linked to the whole theology of the cross. The stark message of the Chinese church is that God uses suffering and the preaching of a crucified Christ to pour out revival and build his church. Are we in the West still willing to hear? The Chinese church has walked the way of the cross. The lives and deaths of martyrs of the past have borne rich fruit." I'm reminded of Tertullian, who said, "The blood of martyrs is seed which bears fruit." We do have to consider the persecuted church. We do need to pray for them. But sometimes we also need to learn from them and be willing in this Western culture to grow how they grow, even if sometimes it means we suffer. Our Bible verse today is this: "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." That's from John 6, verse 33. So let's end in prayer, shall we? Lord, I ask that you comfort and sustain my brothers and sisters in the persecuted church today. and teach me to walk the way of the cross rather than seek comfort. Be too with the Uyghur Muslims and those suffering in Hong Kong. May we be prepared to make sacrifices for them to have a better life. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much for tuning in, and look out for another video tomorrow. Goodbye. God bless. See you soon.